Good morning, Math Proficiency. We are looking at Wednesday of week 20, and we're starting with this question. Captain America, haha, says the following: 889 being divided by 31 equals 39. Is he correct? And we are asked to explain. Well, the first thing I notice is that 899 is approximately, see my squiggly equal sign, it's approximately 900, right? And the next thing that I notice is that, look, 31 is approximately, see, squiggly equal sign is approximately 30. Well, if I take it to those approximations, if I have 900 and I divide that by 30, what do I get an answer of? I get an answer of 30. So because of that, I know that this is not true. I know it's not true because this quotient is too far away from 39 for such close estimated numbers, right? So that's exactly what I'm going to write here. I'm going to write no, the, let's see, I'm going to write no, the quotient is too different than 39. Okay, and our problem solving over here, of course, supports our answer. The next question says, Coles McDonald's Field has an area of 67,200 feet squared. The length is 280 feet. What's the width? Well, what we have to do is we have to take that total area and we have to divide it by the length in order to get the width. Now, when I look at this, I see in 67,200, I see a 672 with two zeros, right? It's really 100 times bigger than this. And instead of 28, we can look at, instead of 280, we can look at 28. Let's start with that fact. 672 being divided by 28 equals 24. That's what we find as we do that division. Now, what we can look at is that there are really two zeros outside the basic fact here. There is one zero outside the basic fact here. When I subtract, I get a difference of one, which means I should really add 10 to the end of this to take it from 672 to 67,200 being divided by 280, right? I'm using a related fact. So what I know to be true here is that the width is 240 and that measurement, that unit is feet. We've used a related division fact to answer that. Our next question says, estimate the quotient for the following. So for A, we have 6,323 divided by 20. So let's get started with that one. When I take a look at this, I could take it to 6,400, but honestly, as I'm looking at this and breathing through it with some mental math, I just right away take that to 6,000 because I know that 6,000 being divided by 20 would give me an answer of 300. So that I can do in a snap with some mental math. I do something similar down below, right? For the second one, we have 3,704 being divided by 53. Again, with mental math, I right away think to myself, well, that's like 400. That's approximately 400. There's a rounded value or an estimated value. And that divided by 50 gives me an answer of 80. So that's the way that I estimate the quotient in order to do the just with some mental fluency. Our last question for today says to complete the area model for the following and connect it to the standard algorithm. You'll notice I went ahead and got us started because one of my products is 245 and I have that here as 245. My next factor is 31, so I have 31 here, the two factors, right? Now I'm going to do my 3 times 2 is 6. And then there are three zeros outside the basic fact. So I know that 200 times 30 is 6,000. Now I have 200 times 1, which of course is 200. Let's go ahead to this rectangle. We have 3 times 4, which is 12. And then there are 2 zeros outside the basic fact. And here I have 3 times 5, which is 15. And there's 1 zero outside the basic fact. Now here I'm going to continue with my identity property. 40 times 1 is 40. 5 times 1 is 5. So in this row, when I add those together, I get 245, right? 200 plus 40 plus 5. Now this row is a little bit larger. We have 6,000 plus 1,200. So far I have 7,200. And now when I add this, I have 7,350. So I'm going to add that now, 7,350. If you are at all unsure, you can come and just write those together, write all those perfect products together, and go ahead and add them, right? If you can see it, you can just do one row and then the second row. All right, let's go ahead and add. We have 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. 7 plus 0 is 7. So my answer here is 7,595. But they have asked us to solve this two ways. Our first way, of course, the area model. Now let's go ahead and do it with the standard algorithm. Well, my first diva digit or center of my multiplication problem is 1. Anything times 1 equals itself. So 245 times 1 is going to be 245, right? My next number that I'm thinking about as kind of my center point for multiplication is the 3. So now I'm going to put down a 0 and I'm going to start those facts here in the tens place since the 3 is sitting in the tens place. Well, 3 times 5 is 15. Here's my 5, carry my 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. Here's my 3, carry my 1. And I have 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I add that here. Now, are you noticing what I'm noticing? My partial products are exactly the same between between my two ideas, right? Let's add those. We're going to get the same answer. 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. 2 plus 3 is 5. And 7 plus nothing is 7. So here I have an answer of 7,595. Here I have an answer of 7,595. Multiplication two ways. That finishes out our Wednesday column.